Hi everyone. Hi, welcome back to my kitchen. Trisha here. Hi, how's everybody? Hope everybody's well. Hope you all had a lovely Christmas, and I'd like to wish you all a happy New Year. Christmas is great here. New Year not so good. Caught that whole horrible flu, and I'm still sort of a wee bit not over it. But anyway, ran out of beans, baked beans. So I just thought I'd bring you along and show you. So I've got my jars. I'm going to do 9 jars, pint jars of baked beans, and I've just washed them all off there. Also in the sink drain in there, I have haricot beans. Just went through them, put them all out in the tray, went through them, and literally picked out a few that I just didn't like the look of. There's nothing probably wrong with them, but just any that's split or just a different colour. I just brought them out, and these are just waiting. I'm not boiling them. I'm putting them straight into the jars from this stage. I've just washed them through in cold water just to take any dirt or anything that's on them off. And I don't boil my beans. I don't like them coming out mushy in the canner. And so I need to make up the sauce that we're going to be putting into the baked beans. Usually I would do this cold, but because my tomato puree is in pucks from the freezer, I'm going to heat this up, just let all the flavours get together. And so in here I've went ahead and I put in 4 stock cubes, and there's 8 cups of water in the 4 stock cubes. They're just chicken stock cubes. Don't have any vegetable left, so just decided to go ahead with what I have. So I've got 4 stock cubes dissolved in 8 cups of water, and I'm putting in 5 tablespoons of tomato puree. I had these frozen in my freezer, so that's why I'm going to do it hot. But I'll be letting this cool down before I actually put it in the jars. That's tomato puree going in. Just want to melt this all down. Brown sugar. This is brown sugar I've made, and it's quite heavy with molasses. So I'm going to actually try it on this recipe. It should be absolutely fine. And I need 7.5 tablespoons. I've got a little chart up here. So 8 tablespoons equates to half a cup. So I've got a half cup here. And I'm not going to pack it too tight because I don't want it too strong. Take a wee bit off. Don't want them overly sweet. That's going in. And it's just brown sugar. Just granulated sugar with molasses done through the food processor. Turns it into brown sugar. And what else do we need? Tomato ketchup. I need a full cup of tomato ketchup. Sorry guys, head's all over the place today. So just going to measure out I don't actually need a full cup of this. I'm just going to put slightly less than a full cup of tomato ketchup in. And it's just, it's not the Heinz one. It's just one I get out of Lidl's. I'm going to put almost a full cup in. Oh, that is going to be a full cup. But that's absolutely fine. We love tomato ketchup anyway. And with any of these recipes, whenever you make up your sauce, always taste when you get near the end. Taste as you go. If you don't like it, adapt it. Just keep adding until you get the flavours you want. So this is going to be processing for 75 minutes. So basically you can put whatever flavours you like in there. You can even put onions or bacon or anything in. We also need 2.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. There's 1, 2, and just more than a half apple cider vinegar. And I'm going to do almost 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce, whatever way you want to pronounce it. So 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. I'm going to put, I need 5, so I'm just going to put less than a full tablespoon in here. And give that a wee stir. I want the tomato puree to be sticking on the bottom and the sugar to burn. It actually smells good already. And say I don't want just really to boil, I just want to melt the tomato puree for me. Pepper. This is just ordinary milled black pepper. I'm going to put a teaspoon and quarter. It's going in. Don't know what's wrong with this virus I've had, guys, but my eyesight is dreadful. Anyway, I'm not moaning. 2 teaspoons of 2.5 teaspoons of salt. And this is just pink Himalayan salt. It's 1, 2, and a half. 2.5 teaspoons of salt. It smells nice. Let's get that garlic powder broken up. You want clumps of garlic powder or onion powder in your mouth, do you? You just hit it against the side and it'll break down. And say it doesn't take long to make these. It's just a matter of sauce, beans, and your pressure canner. Doing pints, they're going to be pressure canning for 75 minutes. It's just a matter of whatever sauce you prefer. A lot of people will put molasses, bacon, onions, whatever in these, but we just like them like off the shelf. Baked beans, you like. Now, let me see if I've got everything. I've got my chicken stock, I've got my ketchup, tomato puree, brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, Worcester sauce, salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And I'm just going to let that sit on a very, very low heat and get the jars ready. So, got 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. I'm just going to get the rinsed beans put in here. I've just drained them all out. Okay, so got got my debubbler, and we're going to put a good half cup of beans in each jar. We actually love these. We prefer these to bought canned beans. So I can't really get away with buying canned beans anymore. So I started doing these. Just such a nice flavour. And I've got we have very few left, so I'm just going to split them in between the jars. And fingers crossed, it's worked fine any other time. You get to know yourself what you can safely fit into your jars, and I don't want to be wasting any of them, so I'm just going to try this. I'm just going to try this sauce. Sauce is lovely. Don't really have to put anything in, just the way it is. It's really, really so nice. So I'm just giving another stir here. And hopefully I've got enough sauce here to do this. From what I've wrote down in my book, I should have, but let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay. So I'm just gonna set a towel down here. This sauce, I mean, I can put my finger in there and it's not burning. It's just like lukewarm. My hands are nice and clean, by the way, in case anybody thinks otherwise. And I'm just going to get a ladle. You don't want your sauce any hotter than like finger hot, or your jars could burst on you, and that wouldn't be good. Just put a wee bit in to climatize them if you like. I'm going to fill these up to just under the inch headspace, just to leave room for the beans. And a slight little bit more. So I fill mine to about there. This is the inch headspace, and you can see it's just a little bit below. I'll actually be putting it up a wee bit more, but I want to make sure I've got enough liquid here for all these jars. So, and if you sort of try and give them an equal amount now, you can always go back and add a bit more stock or whatever, but you want the flavour in every one of the jars. So that's my take on it anyway. And a bit of extra stock cube's not going to take too long to make up. It'll cool down really quick. Bring this over, don't want to waste it. And I can already tell this is not going to be enough, guys. So what I'm going to do is to make sure that these two jars get at least a full ladle spoon of all that flavour. And if this happens to you, don't worry. quite easy to make a wee bit more up. And I'll be right back. I'll make a single batch up and I'll be right back. Okay, so just made up another single batch of that, which is actually quite easy to do. Just fire everything into the pot again, and it takes like 2 minutes. As I say, I would be doing this cold if my tomato puree wasn't frozen, but I'm just letting the steam go off it a little bit, and just put little bits in. Just let your jars get acclimatized, and fill the rest of these ones up. The beans are starting to swell already in there, I can see. This is such an easy recipe, and the sauce is very good. People would say, why do you spend the time canning beans? Simple. I know exactly what's going in here. I know how much sugar's in it. I know how much of everything else is going in, and we like the taste, and I like providing nice tasty food for my family, and that's about it. Just bringing them up a wee bit, and this one's going to need a bit of attention. And don't be afraid if your sauce is not overly warm, then you won't crack your jars, and just put in a little bit at a time. And that's what I do anyway, and it's been absolutely fine. They're all about level. They're just under the inch headspace. And I've got a little bit left there. Let me see. Yeah. Don't want to waste any of it. So on this one, just make sure you give it a good twirl around in there. Get all your beans moved about. You can feel them starting to, the volume getting higher already. And that's I'm just soaking the water up with the broth. Just give each one a good stir. You want all those beans to get moved about, no clumps in there. Give them a wee bit of a spin. There we go. That's them all done. So I'm just going to get a cloth and some vinegar. Just a little bit of vinegar in here. I put a little bit extra more than I'm going to need in, because I like to. Where's my little yellow? This is the one I use for when I'm canning. Goes through the washing machine and it's used all the time. It's absolutely fine. So just dab into the vinegar and get around those rims nice and clean. That sugar and stuff, you don't want any of that sticking on the top. And change your cloth out. Don't use the same part of the cloth, you're just transferring from one jar to the other. And it gives you an opportunity to feel the top of the jars there if there's any cracks or anything, which usually there isn't, like, but it's a good idea to check just whenever you're doing this. Done. You can see there's bits of stuff coming off there. I haven't used the funnel the full time, and if there's any of those little bits stuck on your jars, you have a chance your lid won't seal, so just make sure you clean them properly. I didn't swap that one out, so bad, Trisha. You actually feel any of the, you can feel any of the stickiness on them coming off in the cloth. So see what I mean? It's coming off there. And it's not visible to my eyes the way they are at the minute, so I'm glad I'm doing them with a cloth. And that one was pretty sticky. On to that one. There we go. I'm happy enough for those now. And I'm just going to grab my lids. Oh dear. The Amazon man has just appeared at the door. It's a good thing about having dogs in the house. There's nobody will come into this house. You're usually hard scared of the dogs. And the ring's on. Finger tight. So it's thumb, 2 fingers, and as tight as you can get it. And that's it. Don't crank down on them. Sorry about that. And finger tight. Seven. 8. 9. Oops. Sometimes that happens. Just recenter it. And finger tight. Okay. So these are now ready for the canner. I've had my canner sitting here. It's completely cold. It's got 3 litres of water in the bottom. And you just check on the inside. You'll see the first groove. That's where your cold water has to be up to in this Presto 16 quart. And just place your jar straight in there. They look nice and cozy in there. And the rest of the vinegar I had to clean the lid, so I'm just going to put it in. Keeps the jars nice and clean. And check my lid. So basically you're looking through here. Look at daylight through the window. Make sure you can see daylight through it. Make sure this valve here is secure and tight. And you read the back plug at the back here. Make sure it moves about. And it's also a good idea to put oil around your gasket every now and again. Make sure it's in the right place. So I'm just going to line the arrows up. There's an arrow here. There's an arrow on the handle. I'm just going to line the arrows up, push down and close. And then I'm going to put the flame on. There's no heat going into that at the minute. Okay, so just put the heat on there. So I've got it on a medium, just medium heat. You don't want to bring it up too high. If you turn it up too high, first of all, I'm afraid of the bottom warping, but it also can lead to siphoning and all kinds of issues. So just let it come up very gently. I'll bring you back at the next stage. Okay, so this has been going, I want to say about 40 minutes at a medium heat. And you can see it's starting to get steam now. I can hold my hand just about there. It's just not steady enough yet. So we'll let it go another couple of minutes. You want it to be up to about here, the jet of steam. And that's the canner pushing all the air out, getting up the temperature in the canner. Right, it's up to here, so I'm going to put up my timer on for 10 minutes and let it steam for 10 minutes, and then I'll be putting my 10-pound weight on. And I'll bring you back once the process is finished. Just set my timer here. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes, please. I actually set it on my phone as well, just for extra security. 10, start. Okay, Alexa off. Okay, so this has been bent in steam now for 10 minutes. You don't want to let it go any longer than that. The chance you'd lose too much steam, or water out of your steamer. So that's the 10-pound weight going on. And this will pop up. Sorry, I'll just turn this off. And I'm just going to watch the gauge now till it gets to 10 and my little jiggler starts moving. And once it starts swaying and I get a constant wee sway, I'll set the timer for 75 minutes because these are pint-sized jars. If it was quart jars, you'd be doing 90 minutes. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you with all the rest of this process, so I'll bring you back whenever I'm lifting the jars. Okay, so finishing time, the canner's on for 75 minutes. I let it sit until it came down to pressure and the little lock switch dropped, lifted the 10-pound weight off, parted the handle, and it's been sitting there for about 10 to 15 minutes. So we get to lift the lid off, and as always, lift the lid off away from yourself. You don't want any of that hot steam around your face. And you're hissing in there, so I'll just get rid of the lid here. And we get to lift them out. Whoa. There you go, guys. Big beans. Plenty of sauce. Well, these will all settle once this starts to cool down. There'll be more sauce in here. And actually I was finding I was having to thicken the sauce up because I have more beans or less beans per sauce, so I'm going to try this. I'll put slightly more beans in there. Quite nice. Big beans. They smell gorgeous. And had no siphoning, thank the Lord. It's so good. Hey, excuse you, Jodie. The dog sleeps in here. I'm happy with those. And they won't be about too long. I eat beans quite a lot. I can eat these cold from the jar. And last one. And I'll just show you inside the canner. The water's clear, so been no siphoning, which means none of the liquids come out of the jars before they've actually sealed. And that's one of the good things for keeping your heat down. Try and, if you're doing cold canning, try and start from medium heat, and you won't have to adjust your canner so much. And there we go, 9 pints of home canned baked beans, and these will be away in no time. They won't last long here. Beans and toast. Oh, they're starting to ping already. We eat beans quite a lot with mashed potatoes and meat, whatever meat we choose. And we do like the flavour of the home canned ones. So there you have it. Same routine as always. Just leave them until tomorrow morning, and get up tomorrow morning, take the rings off and make sure they've all sealed. Just lift them lightly and with the rings off, make sure the lids are tight and suction caps going down, and wash the outside of them. Even though they haven't siphoned, I still wash them and date them and put them in the back, and they won't be there too long. Alright, so I'll stick the recipe down in the description box if anybody wants to go ahead and try this. And I'm completely shattered now, so that's all for tonight, guys. Alright, see you all again.